Hey church, welcome again to Thursday Thought. Got a bit of a tough one for you this morning because there's two sort of states of mind that we can get into, and one is fear and faith. And especially with what's going on in Victoria and globally around the world, we can find ourselves sort of drawing to one of these, fear or faith. You know, there's the fear state of mind where everything that you do is governed by fear. Leaving the house, governed by fear. Going shopping, governed by fear. Seeing people at work or on the street, governed by fear. Walking down the street. Entering a shop. And also where you're allowed to drive. I mean, we're not allowed to drive much now. So fear is an interesting thing because if we let it go, it grows stronger and stronger and stronger. If we're not careful, fear can actually paralyse us. Fear can overcome us and we can be left motionless by fear, scared to make a decision, scared to talk to someone, scared to leave the house. The problem with where we are right now in COVID-19 in 2020 is that the media, what's on the internet, what's on Facebook can feed I call it the monster fear, and the fear monster that's in our head. And it can grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And if we let it go, it can run rampant, actually debilitating us. You know, one Bible verse that really jumps out to me when it comes to fear is 2 Timothy 1:7. This is God speaking. For I, God, did not give you the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. You and I are not meant to be paralysed by fear because, let's face it, when that happens, when fear, a lot of fear is in our mind. And when fear starts to run rampant, it's our mind that runs rampant, and sometimes we make things bigger than they have to be. So I love this verse. We are not meant to be governed by fear. Our mind is not meant to be mixed up. But we are meant to have the power of God. We're meant to have the love of God. We're meant to have a sound mind. So this morning, we've looked at fear. The other side is faith. Fear and faith. Faith can be a little bit harder to define, a little bit harder to grapple with, to get your head around. But for me, I think the best illustration, faith is like a muscle. And the more you use it, the bigger and bigger it gets. You know, I'll never forget the pictures, and I'm going back in time for some of those who are born recently. But Dean Lucan was Australia's heavyweight weightlifting champion and won the gold medal in 1984. Yes, I am going back in time. And you see the pictures of him as he lifts those weights, and his muscles are massive. He has muscles upon muscles upon muscles. And he won the gold medal. So as he used those muscles, they get bigger and bigger. You know, I'll never forget, he was commentating the Olympics 8 years later. And the camera panned across to him as he was commentating on some of the other weightlifters. And there was this man who, he wasn't huge anymore. He wasn't this massive, he didn't have muscles upon muscles, but he was just quite a normal guy. You know, and faith is like a muscle. The more we use it, the more we stretch ourselves, the more we push, the more it grows. You know, and I'm reminded of Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. So how do we exercise our faith? How do we grow our faith? You know, by seeing God heal someone, our faith grows. By seeing God work and provide a house, our faith goes. When we see our marriage growing after it was coming through a time of turmoil, our faith grows. When we step into a situation, when God steps in, our faith grows. But you might say to me, Brendan, I haven't seen those things in my life. How do I grow my faith? You know, I would say to you, we grow our faith by claiming the promises, by claiming the works that God has done in the Bible. You know, because we see Jesus healed the sick. We see God provided for a nation in the desert. We see God defeated nations without the people having to do anything. We see God parting a sea so that the people can walk through on dry land. You and I can grow our faith by the examples on what God has done through His Word. So when it comes to mindsets, especially right now during COVID in 2020, are you going to have the mindset of fear or faith? Fear or faith? You know, I choose to live by faith. Faith is that God is in control. Faith is that God has a plan. Faith that God is going to bring good out of this situation, that the Holy Spirit can still move powerfully. Fear and faith. I encourage you, live by faith. Grow that muscle of faith this week. Hey church, be encouraged. Bye for now.